Hello everyone, my name is Anne Marie Houlihan and I'm the Director of Inbound Marketing for Agile Advantage. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, which is Make 2016 Epic when you master these 5 marketing strategies. So we're just going to take a few minutes to kind of look at your 2015 and help you develop some great goals and strategies for 2016 and encourage you to plan and measure so that you can actually reach the goals that you're setting for yourself. So what we'll do is just spend a little time or encouraging you to review your 2015 website traffic and the pulse of your business. So here's the big question. When's the last time you did an in-depth analysis of your Google Analytics? My experience so far has been some folks, it ranges. Some folks are looking at it. They're a little mystified by their Google Analytics. There's things that it would help if they got a few tips and tricks, all the way down to somebody who isn't even sure if Google Analytics has been installed on their website. So that's a big range that's in there, and I fully understand that when you're in business, in small business, and you've got a product to develop and things to get out the door, you don't necessarily want to spend your time on something that you don't fully understand. And hopefully by the end of this webinar, you'll feel a little differently about that. Another thing you want to understand when you're looking at your Google Analytics are what are your highest performing traffic sources and how are they performing year over year. So as we look at this example here, we see a lot of traffic from organic, which is fantastic. Your organic traffic are the folks that don't know who you are, but they found you either through SEO, a Google search, they found a blog. Somehow by doing a search, they were pointed to your page. And that's absolutely the traffic that you really want to see growing, because those are the folks who don't know you yet and have no awareness of you. Your direct traffic are the folks who do know you and they know your URL, and they type that in directly, or they type that in the name of your company directly into a Google search. Sometimes you have referral traffic, sometimes it's self-referral, and that might be, we'll go into this a little later, but traffic that you want to suppress because it can kind of skew your numbers a little bit. And then as you look down, you can see the traffic that comes from your emails. Other examples would be traffic from your blogs, traffic from social media. You want to just start to have a sense of what those are. Maybe even keep a spreadsheet for yourself, even though you can look in Google Analytics and examine any time period you want. Maybe if you just kind of keep a tracking so you can say, hey, social media just took a dive, or we used to get traffic from an industry magazine or an industry expert, and suddenly that's fallen off. I wonder why. That's the kind of thing you want to be looking for. It's just how your highest performing traffic sources are working. Who are they? Where do you want to invest more of those dollars? What traffic sources are down the most year over year? That's going to help you determine either this isn't worth spending our money on, and so maybe we're going to let that go, or it could be that it's a big concern, like that shouldn't be down, and why is it? And if it's referral traffic, let's get on the phone and talk to those people. If there's no reason you can think of why your traffic is down, then you might want to just start having that conversation. It could be a broken link. It could be, they had turnover in their staff and someone didn't recognize that they should be pointing traffic to you. It could be something really simple, but if it's a good source of traffic and it's down, you want to get that fixed as soon as possible. But just look at it and see, should I be concerned about this, or no, that's all right. I understand why it's down. Like the example here with Google CPC, that's pay for click. If that's down, it could be because you've pulled back your spending, and it makes sense that it's down. Or it could be that you changed your strategy and now it's gone down, but you're still spending the money. So go back and dig into that. You see what I mean. So what pages on your site are serving as landing pages most often? That's a really important thing to understand, is where are they entering your website. So on this example, we see that for this customer, hosting is where they get a lot of traffic from, the contact page, the About Us page, and from their blog, that's fantastic. It's nice and healthy. But knowing what is there, if they're not all coming directly to your homepage and they're going someplace else, are those pages working hard for you? Are you encouraging them to continue to browse within your website from those pages? So it's good information to understand, what's attracting folks to your website, and specifically what landing pages are they going to. So your email marketing, the big question and our recommendation is that you send out an email twice a month. And if you're doing that, you should see this kind of nice and healthy spikes that come every 2 weeks. And you can see some perform better than others, which is also great information. Here in this August timeframe, there's a nice high spike. What was that email about? What was that subject line? How can we potentially learn from that and mimic that for future? If it was a really strong subject line, maybe spend more time on that. If it's, it just was what the content was about, and we knew that people would really respond to it because maybe it was an announcement about added functionality to the product, then that's not something you can do every 2 weeks, but you understand what it's about, and you're making some data-driven decisions, which feels like you're a little bit more in control, which I imagine would feel better for a lot of people. So our prospects discovering you through your blog. So we've blacked out what these are, but we're showing different blog titles and start to see again, first of all, are your blogs driving traffic to your website? And if they are, which ones are performing better? Again, is it the subject line? Is it more about the content? Just start to really dig into this and understand it. Don't be afraid of it. Spend some time paying attention to it. And you know your business, you know your industry, it'll start to make sense to you about the types of things that people are responding to, whether it be the subject matter, which ideally it is, or sometimes just the subject line is some are more compelling than others. Your social media. This is another important lever in the whole cycle of lead generation. You really want to be using your social media audience, and there used to be an old campaign that I told 2 friends and she told 2 friends and she told 2 friends. That's really what this is about. If you can start to really grow your audience of friends and get them to engage with your content and like it and share it, then it gets shared to their whole network of people, and you can really start to grow your awareness, and it serves also as a little bit of a referral, right? It's a friend of mine who I trust just liked this article or this content that was posted on social media, and I know and respect that person, and they're exposing me to this company, which is your company. That feels really great, and they're going to be like, wow, this is cool stuff. I just spent a few minutes looking at their page, and they post a lot of interesting things. I want to start to follow this page. I want to start to see what these folks are saying. And that's exactly how you want social media to be working for you. But it is realistic to set a goal that your social media audience should be growing, and we'll talk more about that. But don't just say, I've set up my social media page and I'm just a boring company and nobody cares about me. You can grow your audience, and you should be setting goals to do so. So here's a couple of other things. Just wonder if you've been thinking about these things. Are you happy with your bookings and revenue in 2015? I suspect maybe not, since you're participating in this webinar. But realistically, did you stay flat? Did you grow? Did you grow at the level of what you thought you would have? If you're a little disappointed in that and you want to try and get back some control on those things, let's continue with this conversation. Do you want to be less reliant on referrals in 2016? Referrals is not necessarily, you can do a lot of effort to bolster referrals, but as a general rule, you're not in a whole lot of control when it comes to referrals. Do you want to have hot leads coming into your pipeline that you can control, or do you want to be on the whim of somebody who happens to mention that they were really happy with your product? In that same vein, do you want to be less reliant on your personal network in 2016? I mean, a lot of founders of small companies, and they actually get off the ground in a fantastic way, very locally, with people they knew before, kind of really pounding on their LinkedIn connections, and can really get off the ground that way, and it's fantastic. And I would encourage somebody to take advantage of that. However, it's not really long-standing. At some point, your personal network of people is going to, you're going to tap that out, or you're going to be so busy implementing that you can't continue to invest that work and effort. You really need to be developing awareness strategies to bring traffic to your website so that you've just got a pipeline, a steady stream of traffic coming in, and they're becoming aware of your business and they're engaging and converting with you. Does the competition have you a bit nervous? This is one thing that I've also noticed. I've talked to quite a few business owners, and they can fully recognize, especially as it comes to digital marketing, the ones who are doing it really great. And I think they kind of say to themselves, well, they're bigger, they have, a marketing team, we're a smaller organization, we can't compete at that level. It's not a reason not to be putting your best foot forward as it relates to digital marketing, because as I've said on many occasions, people who are doing research to solve their problems are doing it online. They are turning to Google. If they turn to Google and they don't find you, you're not being considered. So yeah, take a look at your competition. What are they doing? You pretty much have to be doing what they're doing as well if you feel like they're doing it well. And the other side of that coin is if they're not doing it great, you could be the first in your industry that's doing it great, and then they're going to have to try and catch up with you. But let's paying attention to your competitive landscape is important. It's information. It's going to help you make good decisions and help you set good goals. And you can just see how are people responding to the types of marketing that your competition has on their websites. So let's get to the dirt of it. I've just been raising a lot of questions for you, but it really, addressing these concerns all starts with developing a successful marketing strategy, and we're going to spend a little time helping you do that. So once again, are you happy with your current results? What are your goals and what are your objectives? Every once in a while, I feel like we're talking to people and their goal is, to sell more. And maybe they can give us a number, or maybe they can't. Their goal, they wouldn't necessarily say from what industry they want to sell more from or what's more profitable. And for sure, I'm not hearing from small business owners that their goals are around marketing specific tactics. And we're going to show you that you can set those kinds of goals and you can work towards that. And then how are you going to measure your investment? This is another one that's really interesting. Some people are spending money on marketing really spread across quite a few different vendors. They might have one person who they're paying for SEO, somebody else who developed their website. They might be paying for MailChimp or Constant Contact. They might be doing list buys, all kinds of different things. You want to get a good sense of all those dollars that you're spending on marketing, and combine all that, and then what is your return? How many sales are you getting in exchange for those dollars every month? And then start to really look at what methods are working for you. So as we talked about in your Google Analytics, if you're seeing that email is working really great for you, or your blogs are working great, but your pay-per-click isn't, that's information that you can take action on. And it doesn't mean that you say, well, this isn't working, so I'm not going to do it anymore. You might choose that, or you might say, this isn't working, so I'm going to test and play with this, and because it should be working, and I need it to be working for me, and so I'm going to noodle on this and play around with it until it does start to work and get some traction. But the bigger question is, do you know the answers to these questions? As you sit here right now, do you know what's working for you? Do you know what your return on investment is? Do you even know how much you're spending on marketing? For a lot of people, the answer to that question is no. And we just want to encourage you to, make data-driven decisions and, don't be afraid of it. Let's just look at it. Wherever it is where it is. And the goal and the objective is going to be improvement. And we're going to show you how to get there. So the first thing is you just want to know the stages of your buyer's journey. At the very top, we have awareness. And this isn't, I don't want to insult the intelligence of any of our participants. I know that you guys understand the buyer's journey. But as it relates to digital marketing and content marketing, that's the lens through which I'd like you to look at this. When you talk about awareness, what are the levers you're going to pull to generate awareness? Well, at Agile Advantage, what we think generates great awareness is SEO, helping you get found for keyword searches. blogging, and that blogging should be on keywords, questions that people are going to Google and asking high level, top of the sales funnel type questions. I have this pain point. Surely there must be a better way. Those are the types of blogs that you want to be writing. Those are the questions you want to be answering with helpful information that will drive people to your website. Once they're at your website, then they're in the consideration stage because they asked Google a question, is there a better way? Google presented your company and said, yeah, there's a better way, here it is. Now they're like, well, that's great. I didn't even know I had this as an option. Now, what else is out there, or how do I decide? So you want to have that kind of information on your website that once you've driven them there, you can answer the next question, and that next question is going to be in the phase of consideration. Then you want to also have the information about making a decision. So sometimes that comes down to customer stories or case studies. Sometimes you can just do a chart that shows you and your competitors and the functionality that each of you has versus price, things along those lines. You just continue to give them that information, because in this digital age, people are not going to pick up the phone and call you. By the time they've called you, you're probably down to 1, 2, or 3 other competitors. But if they didn't find you online, you're not getting that phone call at all because they didn't know about you. They didn't consider you. So we want to look at our website and all of our tools that we have in marketing to generate that awareness, and then follow that right up with what's the next bit of information they have to make it a good consideration. Now that it's time to make a decision, what should they be looking at? What's best for them? And then encourage them to take that action and pick up the phone and call you. So email marketing is a really strong tactic for conversion. It converts better than any other marketing tactic. And it's great because somebody has made themselves a known visitor to you. They've somehow or another given you their email address. They might be very interested, but they might not have budget. They might not have approval. There could be a whole lot of reasons why they're not technically in market. But you continue to keep a relationship with these folks with email marketing, and eventually they will convert. And so it requires a little bit of patience, and it requires some consistency. And so we ask ourselves, how many of us are sending email campaigns at least monthly? Our suggestion is to do it twice a month, but you want to be at least getting those emails out monthly. So the email serves 2 main purposes. It's about staying top of mind and being relevant. You want your email to turn your prospects into clients. And, you're going to continue to email to your current clients, so you also want to keep information in front of them and earn referrals from your current clients to get more new business. So if you send 2 email campaigns a month, here's what they could and should be about. One could be product announcements and promotions about your product. So you might just want to highlight 1 or 2 things every quarter, whether it be a webinar, it could be a promo code for a specific time of year. It could be that you've got new functionality that's being released. And then your other email should be relevant content, and what we think that should be is the blogs that you've written, the last 2 or 3 blogs you've written. And also if you have any lead generating content. So some people have a free trial, some people have a white paper, some people have a video. Go ahead and make that stuff available in your email campaigns. What's nice about this is you can set up a calendar and then spend some time thinking about it once and do it a quarter at a time. And then all you have to do is plug it into the email template and let it go. I think a lot of people, where they get stuck is they're like, I have to do an email. I wonder, what do I say about it? What should I do? You can have all that stuff pre-planned in advance, and we encourage you to do that so that you set your calendar to send an email and you just go ahead and go, all right, here's my last 2 blogs. Here's my call to action. Boom. Drop it into the email template and send it. I've already decided that in Q1 I'm going to promote these things. In Q2 I have these product announcements. In Q3 we have a conference. So that's what you're going to use your other email for. So it's most important to track and all the metrics around your traffic and your open rate, because again, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. The whole point is to improve. So how much traffic are you getting from your emails, and what kind of open rate and click-through rate are you enjoying? How can you improve all that? So here you can see that, you can just see, you should see this in your Google Analytics of a spike every time you send an email. And you want to set a goal to achieve 10% click-through from your database. So if you have 1,000 people in your database, you want 100 of them going to your website as a part of email marketing. And you can look right here and see what that number is. So I hope that you find that helpful. I think it's something where everybody's like, I want to improve, but where do I benchmark myself? Well, here we're giving you some of that information. Set a goal of 10% are going to go from your email to your website, and look at these spikes. Another little bit you can pull from this page is look here in this August. What was that email about? Because that certainly performed stronger than any of the others. If it was about product functionality and they had a big announcement and therefore they got really great click-through, well, that's one thing, and you probably can't replicate that monthly. But what if it was just about a topic that nobody else is covering and you guys were covering it? What if it was about a promotion that just was really resonated? Could you run that promotion more often? Or did you guys really work hard on your subject line? If that's the case, look at all your subject lines. Spend more time on that across the board, because look at that kind of spike that you guys enjoyed from that one August email. So again, looking at the data and really kind of just embracing it is going to help you make better decisions and help you set good goals. So blogging, the blogging. This is what we call content marketing, and people get overwhelmed by it. And when I ask the question of how many do us blog weekly, typically people are like, it's hard enough for me to do it once a month. And I understand that. I sincerely do. But we're here to tell you that it works. Websites who actively blog see 55% more traffic than those who don't. So let me share one little thing with you. Oftentimes I work with people and they want to put so many things on their website. They're like, we serve all these industries and we can solve all these different problems. And I say, you don't want to muddy up your website with all that stuff. As a general rule, there's an umbrella statement of value that you served. Let's stay focused on that. Let's keep people, get them on the hook with that sort of thing. But so now your blogs, that's where you can get into the nitty-gritty. That's where you can say, we serve healthcare, we serve engineering, we serve education. Start to think about all the different folks who you serve with your product, and you can start to research your keywords on highly searched traffic terms for each of those targeted audiences. Because when you have to come up with a blog a week, that sometimes gets hard, but you can say very similar things except industry specific. So one blog is to education, the next week it could be a very similar topic, but you're focused on engineering. So blogging is what lets you really get detailed and targeted into different personas, and you have full permission to go into great detail there, and that's going to get your organic traffic going, because those people are going to be searching on those terms and you're going to be presented as the one with the answer. So you want to publish your blogs weekly on keyword-specific content. So one of our contacts does GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. And we wrote a blog on how 3D drones can help in that, contributing to that view. And you can see it's number 5 on this page in the Google search term. So you want to start thinking about what are people searching on in Google. So a lot of times I see companies and they'll write a blog and they say they use their company name announces XYZ, or their company name Spotlight. Well, that doesn't make sense if somebody doesn't already know you, right? So if my company is Agile Advantage, so Agile Advantage Spotlight on customer service. If nobody's typing the words Agile Advantage to look for me because they don't know me yet. What I need to do is say, how to delight your customers, here's 5 easy tips. And somebody who's interested in delighting their customers is going to find my blog. More specifically, engineers, how do you solve this problem by doing X? That's what you want to be blogging on, those kind of keywords that people are sincerely going to Google and typing, not necessarily just your company name, because if they aren't aware of you, they're not going to know that. So you want to see a spike in traffic and you want to see continued engagement. This is where the real beauty of blogging goes. So if you look at this, this is probably May or June is when this blog, let's just say this blog posted, but look at all the traffic that continued after that. If you have a strong blog that ranks well with a keyword, it's going to continue to show up on page one, especially if it really does a good job of answering the question. And that blog can continue to deliver you website traffic for months, even years to come. Which is a very compelling bit about blogging is that, yeah, it takes a lot of effort, and we suggest that you put a lot of research and effort into it, but it's something that is going to live on for a long time, and it could be years from now before you start to see yourself get bumped from page one and where the traffic starts to slow down. Why wouldn't you take that? It doesn't actually take that much time to research the keywords and really think about, especially if you collaborate with your sales folks. You know, what are the questions that people are asking? What information do they need? Go ahead and research that and use those keywords in your blog title. Give them helpful information, and that's going to serve you really well. You want to set the goal to drive 750 visits per month from blogging. Let me just say to you, if you're just starting blogging, you're not going to get that, right? Because you've got one blog on your website. Maybe you've got 5 blogs on your website. But look at, again, wherever we are today, we just want to improve and grow. A year from now, you're going to have 52 blogs on your website. And each of them is going to be, while one might spike on the day it publishes, each of them might be still driving 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 visits to your website. That's where you start to see that number of 750 start to happen and be something that you can maintain. So it takes about 3 to 6 months before you're going to start to see real traction from your blogging in the form of organic traffic. But we recommend that you blog very consistently every week, 500 to 700 words, and be patient. You know, you just have to keep doing it and trust that it will work when enough months have gone by. Google likes and rewards content on your website. So think about it. With every blog post, you're adding more content in the range of 500 to 700 words. In addition, Google likes fresh content. Well, every week you've got fresh content because you have a fresh blog. Those are the things that they like to see. That's what they reward in their algorithm. So that's what you want to be doing. Social media. So how many of us have an active Facebook page? I've seen many people, they have a page, there's no images on it, they're not posting to it. That's just going to sit on the shelf until you start to really engage in it and activate it. How many are growing your fan base between 5 and 10% a month? You might not have even known to make that a goal for yourself, but it's very achievable. And that's what we do for our customers. So the way you do that is you create your engaging content to keep your edge rank high, and your edge rank is the algorithm that Facebook uses to determine if something should be put on someone's newsfeed. What you want to be doing is share timely and trusted content. This is something that we posted for one of our customers. You post that, you get some likes, you get some shares. More people are becoming aware of it. They're going to check out your Facebook page. They're going to see all the other things that you posted, and they're going to say, hey, this is interesting, and I want to be top of mind, and I don't want to be searching all over. I don't have time to search everywhere. This company is like telling me the kinds of things that I need to know, so I'm going to follow them. So again, you want to set your goal to grow your fan base by 5 to 10% a month. Your search engine optimization. How many of us are doing ongoing SEO on a monthly basis? So some people might set it up right when they get their website set up. And I feel like most people do know that they need SEO, and they also know that they don't know how to do it. So this is one area where I don't usually have to convince somebody to make that investment, but I do encourage you to constantly be watching it. And the reason is that Google's making little changes, not necessarily major newsworthy where you're going to see it on your news feed that, you know, Google came out with a new algorithm, but there's just little things, and the experts do know how to track this stuff. So you need to know what your highest value keywords are and where you rank for them. And this absolutely goes hand in hand with your blogging strategy. Understanding the keywords that you want to be ranking for, that you want to be found on That's going to inform, your editorial calendar for your blogging strategy, as well as what you're going to invest in from an SEO standpoint. You want to set your goal to increase your traffic from organic by about 20%. That is achievable in a year. So year-over-year traffic, you're not going to grow it by 20% every month necessarily, but we're planning for 2016. What's our number right now for organic search? The goal for this time at the end of 2016, you want to see that number up 20%. And you can track that on a regular basis. And if it's not getting there, you can take action. So we think a big part of really setting yourself up for a great 2016 is setting these kinds of goals and knowing how to benchmark yourselves and what is a realistic number. And for us, a realistic number is to grow your organic traffic by 20% year over year. So your analysis tracking. You want to be looking at your data at least monthly. You want to understand where your traffic and where your sales are coming from. And you want to look for any red flags before they cost you business. And what I mean by that is, if you start to see that traffic is down from a source or referral source where you can't think of any reason why it should be down. And you want to lean on your marketing partner to lead this discussion. And I'll just say very frankly, if you've got a marketing partner and they're not leading this effort, if they're not talking to you about your Google Analytics, you probably want to think again about who to partner with. And you want to set your goal to review this monthly and determine what your action steps should be based on the analysis. Returning on investment. Marketing is an investment, and people need to make it in order to grow their business. There's some small businesses who wait a little while before they start to make that investment. And while that's understandable, please know that it is an investment, but it is one that should pay back. So you should know and be able to track your ROI because you might determine that the activity isn't working for you, or you might determine that the vendor you're partnering with isn't delivering it in the way you need it. And again, otherwise you just feel helpless if you don't know these things and don't set yourself with some goals. And your marketing partner should be reporting what their ROI is to you as a part of a monthly marketing report. If you're just paying money out the door and not necessarily knowing what's happening, not understanding what they're doing for you, not seeing the results of what they're putting into market for you, then I would argue that there are partners out there where you can get that. And the goal should be to achieve 200 to 300% return on investment. So if all in your MailChimp and your SEO and your website and your photography and your content writing, let's just say that's costing you $4,000 a month, you want to be getting $8,000 a month in return for that at minimum on a monthly basis. So go ahead and set those goals for yourself and then find out where you are today and then just move towards closing that gap. So set the goal and take action in 2016, but you don't have to wait to start. We're here to help you. So one of the things you can do is get an analytics analysis from us. We can help you answer some of these questions about what are your highest performing traffic sources, where have you lost the traffic in the last year. There's also some things that we know about. There's some spammer traffic that shows up in a Google Analytics, and we know who they are. There's self-referral traffic that I mentioned before. You want to suppress that information. So some of that stuff, because we're in Google Analytics all the time for every single one of our clients, we've gotten really great at it, and it'd be really quick for us to take a look at it and help you out and help you set some of your goals and understand what your starting place is so that you can put steps in motion to improve for 2016. So if you have questions, we have solutions. We're Agile Advantage, and you can contact me for Google Analytics analysis or for a free marketing grader. And you can reach me at Anne Marie at We Are Agile, and there's my phone number on the screen. And our website is www.weareagile.com. I want to thank you for taking your time today, and we'll go ahead and take questions at this point.